Yes, manners. Have you been minding your manners lately? I wanted to give you a bit of an update about the mutually agreed norms for routing security. Pretty sure that most people in this room have heard of this before, but maybe you heard of it a number of years ago and haven't checked in lately. Just for the benefit of everybody, MANRS is a common routing security baseline defined by actions. There are 4 different programs that have 4 baselines. It's based on commitment and verified conformance, transparency. There is an observatory, which I'll get into a little more later, and it's community driven. From network operators, IXP, CDN, and cloud, equipment vendors programs with implementation guides, and a MANRS Plus program for determining where to go from here. Here's a key point that many people I've spoken to aren't really aware of about MANRS, and that is that MANRS compliance is in fact measured. There is a live tracker of the actual compliance of the agreed actions, including ROAS and RPKI use based on geographies and actions by programs and other indicators and all kinds of lovely stuff, which is why I've given you the URL for the observatory at the bottom of this page. I encourage you to go have a peek. But so that you don't have to go there to see pretty pictures, this is a sort of presentation of data that's available at the observatory. It collates information from a number of different sources to give a real-time view of what's coming out of networks on different aspects of the routing security side of things. Key things, MANRS is turning 10 years old this year. Hard to believe, but true. And so there are now over 1,000 participating organizations from across the globe. It's moved from being just network operators participating to different flavors of infrastructure operators participating. There are 4 different programs, as I mentioned. There are training resources and activities that play at global scale. And it's starting to have an impact in terms of industry-driven, as an industry-driven reference for policymakers. If you've been tracking what's been going on in this country, some of the recent discussions out of the FCC, for instance, referred to MANRS as one of the industry activities in routing security. As you will know, no doubt, this government and governments around the world are increasingly interested in ensuring that the internet remains secure as a key component of infrastructure. So they're turning their attention to routing security. And as with all things governmental, we would like to help them make sure their attention is focused properly and is not too, they don't get too imaginative. So in terms of MANRS itself, it is based on objectivity, and compliance can effectively be tracked, as I said, today through the observatory. So the Internet Society launched the MANRS project in 2014. And then after 10 years of providing its secretariat function, because it is a community-driven effort, the Internet Society was supporting that activity. They last fall partnered with the Global Cyber Alliance to take on the role of secretariat as of January of this year, which is the other data point of which you should be aware. So you might be saying, well, then who's the Global Cyber Alliance? I don't want to say a whole lot about the organization because this is not a marketing pitch, but the key takeaways here that you should note are GCA is an established organization. It's been in existence for almost 9 years, has offices on this continent as well as in the UK and Europe, and is really focused on a variety of activities that are aimed to bring together the players that can make a difference. So in the case of MANRS, that's the infrastructure operators, in order to identify top priorities in addressing cybersecurity challenges that can't be solved by any individual actor. And I think you'll agree with me that it's really hard to secure the internet routing system all by yourself. So it's kind of an obvious fit for this program. So where does MANRS go from here? Focused on scalable growth, working with local communities to champion and foster the uptake of the actions that are called for in MANRS. Looking to improve the level of conformance and assurance, and demonstrating when said participants are perhaps not as actively supporting the actions as they should be. And moving forward, of course, routing security is not a static thing, or at least the notion of what is appropriate routing security is not a static bar. So what is the right way to encourage proper uptake of the existing actions, and where do we go from here in terms of improving routing security overall? And in collaboration with the Internet Society, the Global Cyber Alliance is continuing to look at the regulatory work going on around the globe to see how does this fit in, and how can we make sure that, that regulation follows reliable actions as opposed to having regulation imposed that suddenly needs scurrying of impossible implementation. We've never had that happen before. So we're setting up for the next decade of MANRS, and we would like to hear from you. If you were aware of MANRS and sort of checked out for a few years and are interested again, please contact us. If you were aware of MANRS and thought, that's really great, but it doesn't fit me because, we'd love to hear from you. If you would just like to know more about it, we would love to hear from you, because we really would like to help the community build more robust routing security going forward. There should have been an email address on this slide. At any rate, there is a URL, a QR code, sorry. So please do share your thoughts with us. We are listening. Thank you. Any questions? Tony.
Hi, Tony Tauber from Comcast. I've been involved with MANRS for quite a long time. I've found it rewarding and helpful. Hopefully it's helpful to other people. I'm also currently serving on the MANRS steering committee. So if people have questions or things that they want to say that are just informal, want to ask me, feel free to find me and chat. Thanks.
Thank you, Tony. And on the please feel free to find me and chat front, my colleague Andrei Robochevsky is also here and waving his hand and standing up. So please feel free to grab us. Warren.
So, Warren Kamari, Google. So apologies if I missed this in the talk, but MANRS was doing great in ISOC and kind of missed the bit where it's like, CJ is great, but I don't quite get why it left there, because it gave them much needed sort of credibility.
I'm not going to use football terms because I don't play football, but I feel like I'm receiving the football. So I don't know why the football was thrown. I'm receiving the football. And from our point of view, I hope that I could go long-windedly about why GCA is doing a number of things on this front and is a natural home for the MANRS work. Notably that we are trying to bring together network infrastructure operators to solve other cybersecurity challenges as well. So hopefully this is all very synergistic and will be helpful in sort of building out more internet integrity overall in a way that is driven by network infrastructure operators. And we're just here to help. All right. Oh, Tony?
Yeah, I think what Leslie is trying to say is the question you're asking, Warren, should be asked to ISOC, not to Leslie. Just to, if it wasn't that clear enough.
Yeah, I can't even do a pointer to a sports analogy. All right. Thank you very much.